because I really need the money. In all seriousness, though, I feel like a lot of people can relate to my situation. People who started a Patreon account with that one specific tier could probably use a bit of that cash as well. As for me, well, I'm just trying to pay off my college tuition. Cause, funny story, or, well, maybe not so funny, I wanted to save up enough money to be able to move out and stay away from my family. But when I decided to shift courses and transfer to a different university, a family member decided to cut off their financial support because of my decision. So now I need the money so that I could finish school. Okay, now I don't blame them. I really don't. Because here's the thing. I took computer science as my first course for like 3 years. It started out pretty okay, but eventually I started to realize how much I sucked at coding. You know how everyone has their skill ceilings? Now, I'm not saying you can't grow and develop your skills. Of course not. You can do that. It's not just a hard cap or anything. But what I'm trying to say is that everyone starts out with varying heights of ceilings. And it's a lot easier for some people to climb and reach that height rather than pushing through that barrier. Does that analogy make sense? Probably. There's gotta be one person out there that gets me. Yeah, you know who you are. Anyway, back to computer science. Everyone else's skill ceilings were a lot higher than mine, which in turn made me reach my ceiling sooner. And when I got to the peak of my capabilities in programming, it became very apparent that they are way out of my league. Like, who the hell's gonna hire me? Who's gonna hire someone with abhorrent problem-solving skills? Because that's really important when you're programming. It's so funny too, because I remember one time we were given an individual task to create a small algorithm, just a little program. Most of my classmates were able to accomplish that task with like only a few lines of code, maybe like maximum of 5. Me? I needed like 20, and it still worked. It still worked. No matter how convoluted it looked, it managed to get the job done for some odd miracle. Although the program worked, I knew deep down that it just wasn't enough. It's an entirely different world of programming out there, and this is the best I can do. I look back on this memory and I do find it amusing, despite it highlighting my incompetence. So when I heard of a course that could potentially improve my art skills, I jumped straight for it. I genuinely wanted to get better at drawing, and rather than staying in computer science for another year and graduate, I made up my mind to shift courses. I fought for it too. That's why they stopped financially supporting me after that stunt I pulled. They probably felt like I wasted their money during those few years in computer science. But I can't. I just couldn't stay there anymore. I wasn't happy, and along with the other problems I had stacking up during my time in that university, I knew I had to leave. And I did. I had to leave some amazing friends too, and it hurt. But I made my choice. this was what was best for me, and there was no turning back now. I want to make it clear that I do not hate this family member. I don't hate any of my family. Hate is too strong of a word to be directed towards them. And frankly, they don't deserve it. I wanted to leave because living with a bunch of narcissists sucks. And, a few people out there probably know exactly how it feels like. But, it could be worse. I am well aware, though, that living with them has caused me to pick up on some of their habits, and I've been working on myself ever since I realized it. I've been doing pretty well, too. But maybe I can dive deeper into this topic another time. I think the real reason I started a Patreon account was because I was in a pretty low point in my life. You know that feeling when waking up every day starts to feel like climbing Mount Everest, and you had no plans for tomorrow, next week, next month, or even years from now? And that terrified me. To not be able to imagine your life in the future. So I needed a distraction. Something that could give me a reason to look forward to something. And my brother suggested finally starting a Patreon account. I gave myself the responsibility to post something every week, and that was one of the best decisions I have ever made in my life. I mean, come on. Drawing hot men, and I get paid for it? Are you kidding me? So, here I am. Still going. I managed to crawl out of depression, not through therapy, although I probably still need to go through that eventually. I chose a rather unorthodox way of dealing with my situation. But here I am. Here I am. I'm still here. Okay, quick life update. If you watched the previous video, I mentioned that my AC broke down. But I have a new one. And it feels so good. Last video, I mentioned how freaking hot it was here. I could barely focus on drawing. I kept sweating. I felt gross. It was just not fun. But it was thanks to your guys' support I was able to buy a new one. And gosh, I am so happy. I am so happy to not feel all gross all the time. And it's great. Thank you. But now I have a new problem. It feels like one problem just keeps popping up after I fix the previous one. My chair is broken. My poor old gaming chair. One of the legs is broken, so I have to be really careful not to put too much weight on that side because I am gonna fall, and it has happened once. And I don't want that to happen again. So, yeah, I don't want to have to replace my chair yet, though. Like, I'm kind of sad about it. So, I'm gonna keep it for a while longer, at least until I fall on my ass again because of it. But, yeah. That's it for the updates. If you managed to stick around for this long, I appreciate it. Thank you. Thanks for watching the video. Anyway, that's all. That's all.